Get the show started this Wednesday, the 16th of February. I am Bosun Fayon Frontier Africa Reports. This is your Frontier opening bell this Wednesday. Get the market started. The global equities recovered yesterday after that massive nosedive on Monday. Tuesday came back a bit more strongly. The market went in different directions, by the way. Nigerian stock market was flattish at the end of the day, despite gains. A bit of balancing between MTN and a few other names like Boa Foods and others. If you look at the BRVM, that's a 23 basis points decline. The Egyptian market went up by 1.4%. The Nairobi Bourse fell by 1.26%, while the Johannesburg stock market moved up 12 basis points for the second day. That's in line with the rest of the emerging markets. Rolling down, let's just get a bit of a East African story because the FX reserves in Kenya fell by 70 billion shillings because the Kenyatta's administration has been paying down on some of the external loans just to try and avoid a face-off between Kenya and the Chinese. And Tanzania's annual inflation eases to about 4.0% in the month of January. We've seen a bit of inflation deceleration in a few jurisdictions, but the numbers globally looking a bit worrisome. Uganda's central bank yesterday held its policy rate unchanged at 6.5%, and the outlook on the economy is that of a rebound. In the meantime, Rwanda is allocating about $4.7 million to host the Commonwealth meeting. It's going to be the first major international event that Rwanda will be hosting in Kigali since the pandemic started in 2020. The Inter-Africa Trade Fair for last year was suspended at the last minute by Rwanda because of the pandemic. It was later hosted in Durban in South Africa. Then finally from East Africa, Mauritius inflation consumer price index data rose to 7.4% year-on-year in January from 6.8% for the last month of last year. Put that aside, bring in the West African markets where Nigeria's inflation remained moderate in the month of January after that single uptick that we saw in December last year due to massive spending by Nigerians for the end of the year. The inflation decelerates slightly to about 15.6%, according to data that we got yesterday. Now, analysts are saying that the inflation moderation will continue, but a pressure will start coming through from the third quarter. That's what Tunde Oshukoya, who is a co-managing partner at Commercial Partners, told me yesterday evening. Meantime, the Bank of Industry has become the first financial sovereign development finance institution on the continent to raise Eurobonds. 700 million euros was what the Nigeria BOI raised to support small businesses and MSMEs in Nigeria in terms of financing. That Eurobond will be listed later on the London Stock Exchange. That's the news according to a statement released by BOI on Tuesday. Oxfam says a sharp increase in VAT by Nigeria will widen the country's inequality gaps. Nigeria is looking to expand. VAT is now being 10 naira per liter or per liter of carbonated drinks. That is also still being contested, by the way. Ghana Airports company has notified IATA that its e-passport program will take effect from the 1st of March, just a few days, about 2 weeks down the line. And Mali has reported a budget deficit of about 462 billion CFA franc for the full year 2021. Keep that in mind. Let's go to Southern Africa. We've got a BHP earnings coming through for many of the companies on the GSE and outside, by the way. We've got a BHP. It's posted about almost $10 billion in profits and declared $7.6 billion interim dividend for the company's half-year ended 2021. BHP, one of the world's largest mining company with gold prices at runaway level for 2021. Gold prices made a very steady comeback in 2021. Nedbank is expecting its headline earnings per share, which is HEPS, to surge up to 118% for its full year 2021. The banking sector in South Africa also shaking off the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. In the meantime, Nedbank unit in Zimbabwe says its recapitalization value is now $31.1 million US, in line with regulatory requirements in Zimbabwe. VFX, which is the Victoria Falls Exchange, has about 6 companies listed. It's looking at additional 10 more listings this year, but it has its eyes in particular on companies that will be drawn from South Africa. And S&P says Angola's public debt will likely fall to about 64% of GDP by the year 2025 if the country continues on the current trajectory. Let's sum it up in North Africa. Egypt's unemployment retraced slightly to about 7.4% in the fourth quarter of last year, while the Financial Regulatory Agency, the FRA, says it's going to start regulating the use of fintech in non-bank or technology in non-banking activities. But the petroleum sector in Egypt had a total export value of about $13 billion last year. Today is the final day of the Egypt's Petroleum Show 2022, which focused a whole lot more on green energy transition. And Nigeria's Sonatrach, still in the energy space, the commodity space, is sharing its production in Niger's oil-rich Kafra region, while Morocco says its deposit, that's according to the central bank, this is deposit with banks climbed 5.2% to about 1.08 billion dirhams in 2021. That's a bit of a monetary policy reporting there, backward looking, if you ask me, by the Bank Al Maghrib. That's the name for the Morocco's central bank. That's about it for today. Just leave it there for today. We'll continue tomorrow from here on Frontier Opening Bell. Have a great and profitable trading day. Go on YouTube. Frontier Africa Reports to watch this show again. Subscribe. It is free. We'll be glad you do. You have other shows as well. And if you go on our website, Frontier Africa Report, you can read up our stories and follow other data and news that we have on our website. We'll be glad as well. And of course, follow us on social media, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Instagram, and of course, Facebook. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.